let's call this meeting.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're gonna do roll call. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Mrs. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholtz.
Yep.
Ms. Susser.
Yes.
Mrs. Patel, Ms. Klukowski.
Yeah.
Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes. We have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. No opposed. Do we have anything else that we need to add to the agenda? I'm gonna go with old business. This is gonna be the final reading of resolution 2025-6. This is the mailbox policy. Let's see here. This is to pay out a mailbox. Right? This is, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Council desires to clarify the circumstance and proceed under which residents may establish for reimbursement such as the mailbox damage, and council desires to adopt said policy as an official reimbursement policy of the village. Is there any other discussion on this? If
I
not,
don't see the amount in here that we're.
It's the policy will be attached to the ordinance, and that's
Okay.
in the folder. It's called mailbox, Village of Weston
I
mailbox.
know we had discussed it. I just didn't see it.
$75 is the
Correct.
amount.
okay, if this is no other discussions, we just need to accept motion 2025-6.
So moved.
We have a first and a second. We're gonna go roll call. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholtz, Ms. Susser,
Yes.
Mrs. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna go with 2025. Yeah, so I backed out to 2025-7. And this is resolution to approve and adopt a professional development policy. A bit too much to go over, but
Yep. We talked about that one in administrative process, and I don't know if you guys saw that there's edits highlighted in yellow, and Paul did review those and okayed them. So
everybody had a chance to look at that document. And if there's no other discussion, we just need a motion to accept resolution 2025-7.
So moved.
First, we have a second.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholtz,
Yes.
Ms. Susser,
Yes.
Mrs. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Since me going to an event is what triggered the creation of this, I'm going to abstain to prevent a conflict.
That's fine. That motion's going to pass.
Yeah.
This is going to be the second reading of ordinance establishing the DORA. Let's make sure. Okay. Ordinance to establish a designated outdoor refreshment area DORA in the Village of Weston, Ohio. Does anybody have any discussion on that one? This is only the second reading, so. If no discussions, we'll consider it the second reading. All right. As far as the mayor, that would be me. I Back to my thing here. No, I'm Rick, but you can call me whatever. I want to take the time to acknowledge a individual. I had a conversation on April 31st, and I accepted the resignation of Jesse Kendall. Jesse was our village EMS clerk, and she's not one for the limelight. I asked her to come. She chose not to come because she doesn't like to be the center of attention. So I'm gonna read a proclamation, dedication thing. Jesse Kendall has been a part of the Village of Weston EMS Medical Services since 1975, serving with dedication and commitment, and her steadfast services, professionalism, and dedication. She has played a vital role in the growth and success of our EMS department, ensuring that efficient operation of critical administrative and building functions. And her hard work and commitment to excellence has contributed significantly to the well-being of our community, ensuring that our EMS personnel have the support needed to provide life-saving services to the residents and those who serve those contractual agreements. And beyond her professional contributions, she is also known as the legendary baking skills, with her homemade cookies bringing joy to the department almost as much as her dedication to the public service. And her kindness, acknowledgement, and leadership has left a lasting impression on our colleagues, the EMS department, and the Village of Weston as a whole. And the Village of Weston wishes and express the deepest gratitude for her years of service, outstanding service, and dedication to our public safety. Therefore, now by it resolved that I, Rick Easterwood, Mayor on behalf of the Village of Weston, do hereby recognize and honor Jesse Kendall for her valuable contributions and dedicated services to our EMS department and community. We extend our heartfelt appreciation and best wishes for well-deserved and fulfilling retirement, though we secretly hope she doesn't still stop by with cookies from time to time. I have hereundo set my hand and caused the official seal of the Village of Weston to be afflicted this 7th day of April. I know it's a little bit late, but we tried getting her early. You didn't want to do it, so we're doing it now. Okay. We do have a plaque we're going to give her. It was made by 3D printing. And this plaque right here, we're going to present to her in basically her honor of her dedicated service. So. And that's all I have for me. Does anybody have anything for me? Okay. Yeah, you're not the one that read it. Very important individual she is, so. Okay, now we're gonna go on to some business stuff. So we're gonna go with Stephanie on our officer administrative report.
In the one folder that went around, still over there, there was 2 forms in there. One is the Rita delegate, form, that allows us to participate in the official voting for the Regional Council of Government matters. Our current, form has been expired for, quite a few years. So we need to update the delegates. So we need to vote on a delegate and a alternate delegate. And then the other one is to vote for trustees for the COSI Health and Wellness Trust, which is our health insurance. That one, I would just recommend that I don't think I plan on attending that, or I don't think anybody wants to attend that. So I just recommend doing the proxy vote and mark in favor of the entire slate of nominees, because there's 1 for one and 3 for the other, and there's nobody running against us. Yeah. And then I'm going to be out of the office June 27th to July 3rd. Since that's about a week, I just want to give a heads up in case any departments need POs lined up or anything in advance, to keep that in mind. And then I also keep other updated times when I'm out on my door, on the website, in the newsletter, and on my reports. So just keep an eye out on those. And then I think the other stuff is for the other items on the agenda. So that's all I have.
And if anybody has anything that needs some type of attention, you can either get a hold of me or during the day, get a hold of Harold. He will try to address and figure out what we need to do to make things happen.
Who, the Rita delegates, how does that work?
If I remember last time, we had a council member and a citizen. It doesn't really I didn't see anything that it specified who it has to be. Do you know, Paul, if it?
I don't.
So I was gonna say maybe like president of council and myself. Like what could be one or the other. I don't have a preference if you want me to be the head delegate and then the other one be the alternative. It's those meetings are usually like out over in the Cleveland area, so I don't usually attend those anyway, and they always just send updates. So usually they'll let you know, they'll reach out if they are low on attendees, if they have to vote on things. They usually reach out ahead of time to try and get more people to come. But right now, I think there's a meeting coming up, I want to say in June, and I haven't said anything yet. So I think we're good for now.
Do you have an agenda for their June meeting yet?
No, I do not.
Does anybody want to volunteer to do that?
I'm not opposed.
Okay. It's like-
I was like, everyone's looking.
Everybody's looking at her. Okay, we'll just make Jessica and then you if you.
Okay.
Okay,
Motion and vote or anything.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. We'll make a motion to vote Jessica and Stephanie as the alternate.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Miles,
Yes.
Ms. Sister.
I abstain.
All right, Mrs. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Kolkowski.
Yes.
All right. Congratulations, I guess. So,
And then the other one was the voting on the health insurance trustees, if we want to just go with the proxy vote and entire slate, or if we want to call out which trustees we want to vote for.
I said we just did a proxy, not like we know any of these people.
so you got a motion?
Yes.
All right.
Second.
This one, we're gonna do all in favor.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Okay. Administrative maintenance, Harold.
I got 2 quotes for the electricals to be moved, for a panel to be put in down there at the bus garage for the demolition part. So that will be taken to the Public Works Committee. And I got a quote for the removal of the concrete to go along with the other quote for the demolition of the building. The catch basin has been fixed and a new one has been put in.
We're at,
They're on Locust and Broadway.
Okay.
The other one was crushed. There was nothing left of it, so was pretty much gone, so it needed to be replaced. So that's been done. And I'm working on the hometown hero banners. They will all be up by Friday. So,
Weather permitting, it doesn't
it
matter.
don't matter.
I like your dedication.
So they will be up by Friday and everything else should be done by then. Hopefully. So
Did you find that guy's banner?
it's in here somewhere. It's somewhere. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere.
Wasn't that the guy that stopped and asked you or something? Didn't he stop and ask about it?
No, it was somebody else.
Oh,
If there's any banners that were in the newest batch, they have to have brackets put up as well. So those are the last ones that Harold is working on. That way, I know we've had a few people reach out asking where their banners are, and
It's like a scavenger hunt, but we gotta make sure they're all up.
They will all be up by Friday.
Okay.
You're running out of poles.
I know.
We may have to go to Bowling Green.
They do look really nice.
they do.
Yeah, great.
They're getting there.
Saturday, how did that go?
Wasn't too bad. And yes, that guy does live in town. He lived in my house, but it was. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Hopefully that served its purpose for the community, so,
yes, I hope so.
all right. Ken,
In May 10th, I spoke to property owner on Taylor Street regarding a fence permit requirements and even zoning permit application. So far, I don't believe he's turned one in.
no.
We'll be putting up a fence on a new house on Taylor Street. May 15th, I signed a fence permit for Maple Street, accessory structure permit on Taylor, and a permit for a chicken coop on Sand Ridge Road. Today, May 19th, I gave Stephanie a list of 5 properties with weed issues, 3 properties with grass exceeding 7 inches, 1 new accessory building without a permit, and 2 properties with brush in a yard or boulevard after the brush pickup is already expired. So that's all I've got.
You've been busy.
anything for Ken?
I gotta take off real quick, but I do have something for Greg and his report. And that is, it'll make sense once you hear that I talked to the surveyor for the state of Ohio. And as far as working in the right of way, they do not require a flag or signage in the event that someone's going out to get just the locations on the control points
On 235.
on 235. They will not require that, and the county doesn't require them anywhere.
Thank you.
Obviously, you're gonna use some cones around you while you're standing there, but as far as closing a lane or anything like that's not a requirement. Because they figure it's such a short period of time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Committee reports, we have cemetery from 5-6.
So actually, since they approved their minutes a month behind, their meeting minutes are gonna be from April. The April's meeting instead of May.
They still have you as a liaison, right? Yeah, so you just give your report like normal.
No, I don't do a report. I go through them to get the report.
Was there anything that you were at the meeting though? Anything?
Yeah, no.
anything-
Nope.
All right. Guess we're gonna have Park and Rec from 5-7. I don't think we have.
There's not an April report to read then?
That was done last meeting,
Oh,
or the meeting before,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they just approved their minutes. of the April meeting.
Oh, okay.
And the Park and Rec.
Right, on the podium. Oh, that's-
On 5/7 at 5:30, we had Doug Marion, Ron Dallas, Harold Lashaway, Christine Long, Shelley Meyerholtz, Rob Meyerholtz, and myself. The board received an unofficial quote for the Brittany Hillard electric pole project, and they're waiting on getting the official quote for that before making decisions to move forward. The Weston Fun Day updates for July included discussing getting a DJ for during the car show and plans to map out the layout for visitors. Getting a list together for the June 7th Volunteer Day. Initial thoughts were painting park equipment. They plan to make take the Michael Merrill sign down to repaint it and then remount it. And they plan to attend the library board's meeting to further discuss them doing the next Arbor Day and Earth Day events. Christine is working on setting up the Parks and Rec computer. Doug spoke with Chris Smalley about getting funding for handicapped accessible equipment and will further communication about it with them. When the storage in the maintenance building was organized, the board found all items on the purchase list. They were worried that there were some things missing, but they found everything matched. Howard Lashway motion for the board to no longer have a council liaison, and Ron Dallas seconded. They unanimously approved it. So that means this is my last report for them. The board would like to know if the CSX space is available for village use during events, and Stephanie put a response into the report stating that CSX was no because of liability. They do not want anybody trespassing on that property besides to handle the mowing per contract.
I'm gonna add real quick,
Sure.
Doug stopped in. They are having a special meeting tomorrow at 5:30 at the library to talk about that electric pole project some more.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna have the ministerial process from 5:12.
In attendance, Jessica Souser, Craig Warner, Rob Meyerholt, Stephanie Muntz, Rick Easterwood, and Brittany Klakowski. Rob gave a brief update on EMS and his discussions regarding contracts with Weston Township, Liberty Township, Milton Township, and Jackson Township. We referenced budget concerns outlined in the 5.5 fiscal officer report. That's her report from our last council meeting. We are awaiting a quote for the village hall and post office inspections with plans to identify funding for the inspections with the current budget. Village hall cleaning service. An RFP has been prepared and will be posted to gather quotes with the purpose of planning and budgeting for cleaning services in 2026. Stephanie will also reach out to clerks to see if they utilize a cleaning service at other municipalities. As far as the Weston app goes, we agreed to continue using the website and social media for communications. The mailed newsletter will, as voted prior, be discontinued, the final edition going out in fall of this year. And beginning in 2026, the newsletters, the printed newsletters will be available through opt-in mailing and printed copies at local locations only. The display bulletin board at the concession stand has a missing key and old plexiglass. It was noted that replacing it would be more cost-effective than repair. And Stephanie agreed to look for a replacement under $100, which I saw. We found that and ordered that. The installation of fencing around the recycling dumpsters will be put on hold due to budget constraints and pending grant application for the parking lot behind the library. We reviewed the sidewalk budget and related concerns and agreed to leave the reserve line item and the sidewalk line item as is, totaling $20,000 to be set aside for the TAP grant sidewalk project to Dollar General. We're still awaiting confirmation on whether ODOT sidewalk project will be awarded. We discussed the impacts of the paving project and the pending OPWC award. OPWC is currently waiting for existing projects to close in order to allocate those remaining funds. So we're waiting to hear from them. As far as beyond OPWC, we have Washington Street on our list for next year's projects. And we are waiting quotes for Washington Street, both the entire thing and also a quote just for the section between Brown and Brook Lane. That will all be discussed in Public Works. Mr. Meyerholtz pointed out that the village has been operating on old money and suggested it's time to consider looking into a levy or income tax increase. This would help determine the village's actual needs, such as stormwater management or road paving. The recommendation is for the council to vote on whether administrative process should be allowed to discuss and research this further. The employee pool discussion was revisited with the understanding that it was previously agreed and recommended to revisit the topic in the fall. However, after Stephanie's training, we were notified that it's outlined in the ORC that it is the village administrator's ability to hire the employees, and it is council's duty to just simply budget for those salaries. So we agreed to have Stephanie and Rick meet with Harold and discuss his staffing needs and report back to the committee for a budget review. We discussed fiscal policy regarding backdating reimbursements for items without prior authorization and or purchase order, specifically reimbursements for past seminars and events that did not receive council approval prior to authorization. It's an old topic we revisited per request. And the policy is on the agenda. We discussed it already. We reviewed the employee handbook update recommendations from Stephanie. It is recommended to approve the highlighted changes in section 3.1 regarding monthly pay and remove the job description section, as these are already maintained separately in the HR binder. Additionally, Stephanie has been instructed to include the handbook, their updates recommending specifically addressing the lack of clear guidelines for salaried employees, and also requested for reviews, guidelines for employee reviews. So actual items, update section 3.1 of employee handbook and remove the job descriptions. We get a vote on that. Update the professional development policy, which we did. For employees, overnight stays, travel, we already voted to approve that. We did the third review today. So that is not still unactionable. That's completed. And then vote on whether administrative process can go forward with discussions and research on levy or income tax increase for the future. And vote on recommendation to fund building inspections.
Okay, actual items, we did take care of one of those, and the other one is going to be update 3.3 employee handbook. You already did some of that or no?
Yep, it's all, that's actually one of the agenda items, but we can, yeah, so what it would be, I'll read it out loud.
Well, yeah, okay. We'll just do it.
So in this administrative process report, we have an update for section 3.1 of the employee handbook regarding monthly pay, along with a few general housekeeping changes to outdated content. We would be updating language to reflect that employees are paid on reflect the employees that are paid on a biweekly basis. The outdated listing of full-time, part-time maintenance employees / administrator and part-time seasonal cemetery maintenance will be replaced with village administrator, separate from those, and full-time, part-time, and seasonal maintenance workers, instead of just spelling out the department. It's just those ones get paid bi-weekly. And then clarifying that bi-weekly employees are required to track their time using the U-Attend time tracking system. Generalizing the phrase regarding timesheets by removing 4 hourly employees, so it now simply states that timesheets must be submitted for those that clock in and out. Removing references to quarterly EMS volunteer pay, as we don't do quarterly anymore, and instead adding EMS volunteer honoraria on the monthly pay list. Removing the cemetery board from the monthly pay list because they are no longer paid. And then adding a new line noting that the fiscal officer will provide a pay schedule at the start of each year.
Okay. Does this have to go through an ordinance then, or is it?
No, we just approved those highlighted changes on that document that I just
So we
read.
just need a motion to approve those highlighted changes.
So moved.
So we have a first, do we have a second? Okay. Mr. Warner.
Yes.
Did you get it?
Yep.
Okay. Ms.
I
Grout,
looked up and Brittany already knew.
Mr. Meyerhold?
Yes.
Ms. Suster? Mrs. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski?
Yes.
All right. That would be under the new business, so we'll skip over that one. Anyways, the levy and income tax increase, do some research administrative process. Do we want to continue that discussion and send it back to administrative process for further discussion?
What percentage are we looking?
Don't know.
Don't know. We're just,
We can't discuss it because it's not on my agenda. So, and the council assigns agenda items.
A motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we'll put it back on the administrative processes radar. And we need a recommendation for funding for the building inspection. Does that go back to the administrative process for finding the money?
sending it back to administrative process.
This is the one you guys said we needed to approve, so when it comes through, it can go through. That was the recommendation.
I thought it was, we were waiting for the quotes and then they would be reviewed in administrative process,
Yeah, we need.
just in case. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we got a motion to put the quotes back in the administrative process when we get it.
It should all go there.
Get quotes for.
Yeah, when it gets there to,
Okay, so we're.
It doesn't need it then.
okay,
I had it as an action.
Okay.
but it doesn't.
all right. That's it for the actual items, right? All right. Upcoming meetings, Community Development, Public Affairs, that'd be tomorrow at 5:30. Planning Commission hearing, that's it. Wednesday, 5/21 at 6 PM. Shirley? Shirley? Public Works, next Tuesday, 5/27 at 6 PM. And then Safety, 5/29 at 6 PM at the fire station.
Stephanie, this one, Wednesday is for Main Street, correct?
Yes,
And you said that there was a special Parks and Rec meeting tomorrow as well.
tomorrow at 5:30 at the library.
Okay. Anything else for upcoming meetings that we'll discuss? All right, now we're going to go into new business. This is going to be, I gotta find it. Appropriations.
It just say 2025-13.
Okay. Spankies, give me 25. All right, this is amended appropriations for the building maintenance utilities. As she discussed, we are going to assume the utilities back over for our maintenance building that was currently being paid by Northwest Water. This is to in order to provide the current expenses and other expenditures of the village fiscal year ending in 12/31/2025 ordinance 2024-20, the permanent appropriation ordinance of the fiscal year ending in December 31st, 2025 shall be amended to provide the following appropriations in the council amended as set forth below. And this would be for the electricity back in our usage. I think that's just approximate of 3,500, right?
Mhm.
For the year. And then the water back to us for $800.
This should cover us for the rest of the year based on previous averages and what they sent me. But if we get low in the fall, we'll just amend again, so.
So on year basis, you're looking at approximately double this amount.
No, well, no, it wouldn't be I don't think it'd be double, yeah.
Now we just need a motion to suspend the rules, make it an emergency ordinance for 2025-13. We have a first, second.
Second.
All right, we have a second. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholz,
Yes.
Ms. Susser,
Yes.
Mrs. Patel,
Yes.
Mrs. Patovsky.
Yes.
All right, now we just need a motion to accept ordinance 2025-13 amended appropriations of the maintenance buildings.
So moved.
We have a first, we have a second.
Second.
Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholz,
Yes.
Ms. Susser,
Yes.
Mrs. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Patovsky.
Yes.
Right. Now we're going to go to approval of the expenditures. Everybody had a chance to look at the folder? Everybody signed the folder? That's just, sorry, it happened a couple times.
Once.
Maybe twice. All right, do we just need a motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
We have a first, we have a second.
Second, I guess.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Miscellaneous business, we're got some clarification on our stormwater. Do you want to, you worked so hard on that. This was a conversation to get our GIS mapping for our stormwater system. In order to move forward on our plan via grants and all this stuff, we have to have an analysis done of our current structure. And we've exhausted a lot of efforts and GLA cap, GCAP, whatever. Yeah. I keep on thinking of the 4-H clap, so anyways. They're taking on that project. And this is going to be a total bill of 17,000. So I believe we have to make a motion to go for something.
We have to make a motion to have them submit a memo of understanding. The village, to be clear, the village is not responsible for all the $17,000.
Correct. This is going to be taken on their dime and they are going to give us our GIS mapping and help us proceed to the next step. So
What portion are we responsible for money wise? Did they give you an idea?
We are responsible after the grant period, which I believe is 3 years. We are responsible for applying into the co-op to have them host the data
Right.
so that we would be able to open it and manipulate it and that stuff. I believe
And they-
it's at $400 a year.
Yeah.
now, when I read that thing, do we have a cost of what it's going to take for us to
I have,
get that procedure going as far as?
that's kind of what I was going to talk more to Ken about, was if he would know. And he did send me a link this morning on something for that, I believe.
This discussion we're talking about is we're responsible for our own data.
They're going to give us,
Distribution.
they're going to give us all the data in a file. We have to figure out the software to open it, or if we want to pay to have them host it so that we'll be able to open it that way. And this will help us as we do other projects with electric and gas and other infrastructure as well. And what Ken was talking about here earlier was, obviously we want to map some of the areas that might be on 235. And so whether or not, did we have to work with ODOT involving that or not? And that's what he was clarifying.
We could access it as many times as we wanted.
Yeah, and they will give us all the data on a thumb drive. They will also have printed maps. I believe there's large wall maps, and I believe there's also a book of maps as well. And then as far as the digital files that we can actually manipulate, that'll be something that we will have to discuss within the next 3 years of how we're going to handle that. Are we going to buy the software ourselves, or are we going to work with their co-op and pay for that subscription?
It was,
Have any equipment to purchase or anything? They provide it all from
Yeah.
that standpoint.
Correct.
So.
we, I gotta remember, were we on a time frame to give them do we
Well, I think,
sign something for that commitment thing?
oh, for the $400 for the co-op?
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's just by the end of the grant period to do that. Because we will have access to it during this time.
All right.
The other part is that I know that there are areas that we have issues. And as far as a, assessment of, problem areas, they also provide that as well. And so we're working with them, to find funding for that as well.
All right. We're waiting for the letter, right?
We have to motion to have them produce a letter. So I motion
Okay, that's,
GLCAP will have a memo of understanding.
okay.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay, when we get that, and we'll, Okay. All right. Visitors and citizens. Yes, sir. You have anything for council? You ready to give your report?
To council.
I'm just messing with you. She's gonna give the report. Anything for us? Okay, was it entertaining enough?
Sure.
Okay, you? Okay, Shirley?
Nope.
Wednesday.
Yes, I will be here.
Okay, I had to dig it in. Yes, sir, you in the back.
Yeah, my name's Ron Stone. I just recently, last year, built a house on the end of Brown Lane.
Okay,
Has to do with this stormwater problem.
Hmm.
It's not, when I built my house there, you know, I brought the level of ground up where it should be and mine ain't as bad, but now the neighbor behind me is Hummels, I believe. And there's a lake back there, right? It takes a long time for it to drain away because once it gets in there, it can't get out.
Mhm.
That's what I get. Maybe somebody from the city or something down there, we can figure out some way we can get.
well, you make it, try to answer your question. We did send Harold out there after the last meeting, administrative process meeting, I think it was. We talked about Washington Street, I think it was, and I sent him out there and we did get some photos of, because shortly after it rained, there was very little water in the catch basins. Very little. I mean, you still see gravel in there. That's probably a lot of the problem is there's gravel in there, but that's not above, nothing was above the inlet pipes coming in. So the catch basin, we believe, is doing its job. The outbound distribution, we think we might have a issue towards the ditch, right, Harold? And then we were gonna get,
That catch basin, the catch basin at the corner of, Washington and Brookland is the one that needs to be cleaned out. And I need to have them come in and suck everything out. So as far as that, but, I know there is a catch basin all the way back on the back end of the road where that ends, I believe.
Really, I walked back in there. I didn't.
Well, I know there's a basin back there on the right-hand side.
I know there's the one in the middle of the
Or the
road,
middle of the road.
about halfway down the road.
So the only other option is to trench a line to that catch basin from wherever the water is to get it to drain.
I know I could go right down my property, me and Nettie, I could go right down there with my property. But I don't know if that's gonna get theirs to drain back there.
Right.
They got kind of like a bowl there that the water can't get anywhere through the drain.
when did you build your house?
Last November.
Okay. And I'm not 100% certain you understand the history of that whole area. That was all privately owned. It was privately developed, and we, as far as the village, have acquired that headache. Lack of better words. I mean,
When it,
but we are currently trying to work a plan to get it taken care of. And if the storm pipes and the inlets and the outbounds are inadequate or deficient, this whole thing that we just talked about earlier on this stormwater thing is going to help facilitate that. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be a quick fix.
You could bulldozer back there with, of course, it's not my property.
Sure, and it's not ours either, except for, you know,
Right. But it's just for my property, I mean, the stink and the mosquitoes and all that kind of stuff that.
I mean, we are working on it. We're trying to develop a plan for it and address any need that we need to. But it's a slow process, and I'm not saying that we are not hearing you. I mean, it got brought to us about paving the road. It's like, hey, ding, ding, we have a stormwater go through. Let's double check that again. And so we did that portion of it. Now, inlets coming to the catch basins, we're working on that. I don't know how adequate they are. If Holmes has taps in that area, if the catch basins are above the ground line, they're not funneling in there, is where we're not too certain of, especially back there towards the woods.
There is because the road is what, that much higher than the
Sure.
actual ground level, and the water's not able to get to the catch basin from where it's at.
From what I understand, where my house is sitting now, it did there, flooded there too at one time.
Mhm.
So, but since I built the house and it's built up there, the only water I get that's actually on my property is between me and Nettie there for, it's just, it eventually goes away, but it stays there for quite a while.
Sure.
Like right now I can't mow it because I get my lawnmower stuck in there. But,
Well, like I said, I hope that you understand that we're still working on it. It's not gonna be a quick
Yeah.
fix, so.
I'm just trying to figure out a way to get the water out there now as soon as possible.
Yeah, because like I said, I mean, if it's on private property, we can't trench and divert. It's not our property. So,
What about if you had, do you guys ever have like extra dirt or something you want to get rid of? Because I could work with the neighbor and see if they could,
yeah, I don't think we have extra dirt.
how about a bulldozer, do you have one of those?
We got a backhoe and it's not out for rent.
That's all.
So, yeah.
It'd be a long process for the back.
Is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
I had something about that.
So the train that goes through about 5 times a night.
Mhm.
Not a problem with the train. A couple of the rail cars have flat spots on their wheels, and it makes it like a 200-ton jackhammer.
Yep.
And you can almost feel it in the house. My concern is with the framing foundation, during the house, during soft, I'm worried about the house sinking in as it's just getting jackhammered over and over and over. Is there anything that the city could do to maybe push them to keep regulations on their wheels? Because I'm assuming they, like emergency braking situations,
Sure.
they're gonna get flat spots. But
I don't know of anything on our thing, and unfortunately, we're dealing with the railroad and the process is very lengthy and obstructively. I mean, we just asked for permission to use their property over here that we mow. We charge them very little, and we can't even use it for an event center. I mean, it's just the way it is. And unfortunately,
Yeah,
They have their
they
own-
are under federal
Yeah.
guidelines too. And I mean, I'm sure we're all aware of, you know, the stuff that's going on with the railroad and other areas and those cities trying to get things fixed and they just don't get anywhere with them.
It's CSX.
Yeah.
Is the railroad.
so if you have any concerns, you would just have to call and contact them, and then therefore, anytime you hear it, I mean, they've built these railroad tracks and nothing's changed in probably 100 years. They just keep, I mean, the technology is there and that's steadfast for them for so long. And I don't think it's going to make a difference. Unfortunately,
I'm sure they have like a maintenance budget, all right, for like,
I'm sure they do, but say the house is sunk because it's 200 feet from the railroad tracks because of a wheel. I don't know if that is something that would stand up. I mean, I don't know, because,
Quite honestly, I don't think they would care.
yeah, well,
That's the way they are.
Saying it's delicate, that
yeah,
Anytime you try to deal with CSX, it's a negative response. For anything.
But even if they do have a maintenance budget, it's not controlled by us.
Right.
It would be through
So
the,
don't have to look into the federal like regulations on.
yes.
I would try just contacting them.
Yes.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, CSX.
And be prepared for a no immediately.
no, there'll be a, hold on, we'll transfer you.
Yeah.
And you'll transfer to Florida, then back up to Minnesota.
I'll be
and-
on the phone for
Yes.
5 hours. Be
Mr.
persistent.
Mr. Scaff, you got anything?
No.
All right. Okay, we're gonna go to Mr. Dallas.
He keeps on leaving and coming back.
Mr. Dallas, you have anything?
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I thought you said thank you. I'm like,
I'm good.
Lawnmower.
okay, all right.
It's fixed.
Anything, have anything else for council?
Dinner was ready.
I already know the answer.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
There was that.
Aye.
Motion adjourned.